How would you like to own your first home or your first rental property in the next 12 weeks from today with no deposit and no mortgage? Sounds completely impossible, right? Insane. But what if I told you that here in New Zealand there are legal structures which enable us to do exactly that? I'll give you an example of two. The first one is a lease option, not to be confused with a rent to buy. This is commonly used in the commercial property market and not so common in the residential property market. This is where you are going to lease a property for someone, you're going to try and make it as long as possible, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. And alongside that lease, you're going to have what they call an option, which enables you and only you to buy the property at a predetermined price throughout that period of the option. So I'll give you an example. Just say you bought a property today, you did a deal for the lease option on a property worth $800,000 in Auckland. Okay, and you did the option period for 10 years. We know that in Auckland, that the chances are the property is going to be worth 1.6 million in 10 years' time. But at that time, or any time throughout that period, you can buy that property for $800,000. So you could use that extra equity to either as a deposit to go to the bank and get a mortgage, or alternatively, if you didn't want to buy the property yourself or you couldn't get a mortgage, you could just go to an estate agent and sell it. You'd sell it for 1.6 million. You pay off the owner with 800,000, and the other 800,000 goes to you, only you, and tax-free. Second structure available in New Zealand is what they call vendor finance. Very common for people that are selling and buying businesses in New Zealand. Okay, how does that work? That is where basically the person doing the selling becomes the bank. So what they do is they extend you a loan to buy their asset or their property. So, there's no credit checks, there's no bank slips, pay slips, there's no bank statements, there's none of that nonsense. It's just you and him organize this together. So you would determine whether or not there is a deposit. If so, what magnitude, what size? If there's going to be an interest rate applied or there's not. It's just going to be a straight repayment mortgage. Whatever you want, you decide. And it's on your terms. So that's the second structure. Okay, but who on earth is going to, sell you their property on these terms? When there's so many people out there that can go out and just get a mortgage and have got the deposits to do so. Well, the answer to this question is motivated sellers. Now, motivated sellers are people that have a problem. It can be time-related, and it can be financial. It can be a range of other things. For example, a very common one, unfortunately, is people who are in arrears on their mortgage. They've lost their job, can't pay their mortgage anymore. Or alternatively, it could be people getting divorced. It could be people moving overseas and they've got to make arrangements for their property really fast. It can be someone who's inherited a property, they don't want it, and they want a quick sale. Or it can be someone who's got a property which is unmortgageable. Loads of those around. It's got no kitchen or no bathroom, or there's some other issue that's with the property which that you can fix. So all these people are motivated sellers, and they will consider these structures, so long as you explain them to them correctly. So I've written a book which has outlined all these structures which are available to you, how to use them, how to apply them, and very importantly, how to find motivated sellers, how to negotiate with motivated sellers, and then how to close a deal with motivated sellers. All that's available in the book. You can even purchase copies of all the contracts that we use that are available to us here in New Zealand. And additionally, if you want, you can have my personal help to help you through a coaching program, which is also available. But nevertheless, the book is where it all starts. And I would encourage you to go to the website, get yourself a copy of that book, and get into your first property within the next 12 weeks with no deposit or a very low deposit in 12 weeks' time.